Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Keenan Lambert, and in this video I'm checking in from Salvador, Bahia, here in Brazil. In this video we're going to talk about a topic that I'm not 100% comfortable covering. However, I know you guys love international dating, so we're going to talk about it here in Brazil.
Devagarzinho, bonitinho, com jeitinho, tudo aconteceu. E no swing da guitarra ele me prendeu. A cuíca gemeu. Devagarzinho, bonitinho, com jeitinho, ele percebeu. E no swing da guitarra ele me prendeu. E samba de amor aqui nasceu. Devagarzinho, bonitinho, com jeitinho, tudo aconteceu.
For those of you guys who watch the channel, you guys know that I'm a history nerd masquerading as a travel YouTuber. However, on this channel, we do love women, we do love rum, so Brazil is the perfect place. So let's just be clear here. Due to the migration patterns over the centuries of the existence of Brazil, there are different types of looks here. You can literally get a person that looks like anything who is Brazilian. And that's great because all of you gentlemen as well as women out there have certain types that you like. Don't say that you don't, because you do. And without a doubt, Brazil has that. And because of that, when you're moving around as a traveler here, you don't necessarily not look Brazilian. You might just be a domestic traveler who's going someplace, and you might have a big backpack because of that. The thing that I really like about Brazil is that they don't care if you're a foreigner or if you're from Brazil. I don't think any of that really matters in terms of how attractive you are to them. Speaking Portuguese is definitely a big thing. Folks here are not as bilingual as they are in other places. In Europe, in Portugal to be exact, I want to say majority of people speak Portuguese and Spanish, or Portuguese, Spanish, and English. Here in Brazil, it's mainly Portuguese. Based on my experiences here, I would say maybe 1 in 15 people speak some English. And because of that, dating here for a foreigner who doesn't speak Portuguese can get very complicated. I don't know, I feel like dating via Google Translator app is kind of corny. You guys let me know in the comment section below. Have you been on dates in the past where it was Google Translate only, and how did that work out? Did you ever develop a real connection with that person? So before I said that we all have our types. Now it's true, for me at least. You guys may want to go ahead and lie and be dishonest about it, but I am going to be 100% truthful here. I like the ones that have the caramel skin tone, caramel to coffee color skin tone with a big fro. I like the big curly hair. That's my thing. And here in Brazil, they got plenty of that. But it's not only that, right? There are different looks here in Brazil because of the centuries of different migrations that have come in and have settled here. Of course, people came from Africa due to the slave trade, West Africa and Central Africa. People came in from Europe, Portugal, Spain, big time from Italy. There's a native influence as well. Natives, I mean, they were native here, so they were the first peoples, and they haven't gone anywhere. They've blended in many situations, and in some areas there still is concentrations of mainly native people. And something that I think we don't know about in the States, there is a huge Asian population here in Brazil. In Sao Paulo alone, there's over 1 million, maybe it's actually up to 2 million people of Japanese descent living in Sao Paulo. So again, literally, whatever you're into, you can find it here in Brazil. From what I noticed in Sao Paulo and in Rio, there is a very loud and expressive LGBTQIA+ community. And if one is interested in dating somebody of that experience, you can do it without public ridicule. It's very normalized here. In fact, when I was out enjoying myself in Lapa, I noticed that there was more than what I'm used to in terms of seeing transgender women just out and about and enjoying themselves. Even more than what I've seen in San Francisco, which is generally known to be the United States hotbed of LGBTQIA+ acceptance.
In Lapa of Rio de Janeiro, you'll generally find healthy-looking brothers opting for transgender women. That's just the way how it is here in Brazil.
From what I noticed there, people are very expressive and they're not afraid of showing public displays of affection, PDA. Alright, so I'm gonna let you guys into my business now. In the past, I did date a Brazilian woman, and she was great. The PDA was a little bit heavy. I mean, we'd be in a bar eating or in a restaurant, and it was literally like once every minute and a half. She needed to kiss me. She needed to hold my hand and make sure it was on the table so that people could see. She was very, very aggressive when it came to showing love. At that time, I wasn't as comfortable with PDA, so it was a little bit of a culture shock for me. And to be honest, I think that was maybe rooted in some of my Jamaican cultural boundaries. Dealing with her and other Latin women thereafter her, it definitely helped to expand those boundaries that used to be in place. Now, for those of you who engage in outright sex tourism, well, here in Brazil, it seems to be normalized, very legal. If you want to go into a place and buy something, you can do it. I was actually riding back to my hotel from Ipanema Beach in an Uber, and we got back to my hotel, and the Uber driver turned around and told me, "Hey, you know there's a brothel literally like right next to your hotel, right?" And I was like, "Where?" He pointed to a little door, a little skinny building, like literally I could probably put my hands out and touch both sides of the building, but apparently that was a massage place. So I got out of the Uber, and then I saw a man standing at the edge of the sidewalk, and he didn't speak English, so I asked him in Spanish, which worked, what kind of place is it? Is it a massage spot? He looked at me, and then he nodded. He said, "Well, you can get a massage, you can get that thing if you want, like it's whatever you want." And I stood there maybe for about 5 minutes and observed, and I saw leagues of older, generally white European looking men flooding out of the spot with big smiles on their face. Now personally, it's not my thing, but it seems like here in Brazil it's normalized, it's legal. I will give you example number 2. So a couple nights ago I was out in Lapa. Lapa is the party district in Rio de Janeiro, and I was just walking past a spot, and I noticed women were kind of hanging out in bikini wear outside, and they were giving these little cards. So I took a card, looked at it, and I realized, oh snap, that's a brothel. The next night I went out and I noticed the security from that spot outside talking to cops. They were laughing and joking. So I thought to myself, well, this thing is either legalized or it's illegal, but it's just tolerated. I would actually say dating here as a foreigner is probably a little bit harder because of that language barrier that I mentioned earlier. People here don't really speak English, and if you don't speak Portuguese, that pathway for you to get to a place of having that genuine interest in the other person, building that connection, it's harder to get to that place, I think. The reason why I say I think is because I don't want to discount the experiences that other people may have where they don't speak the same language as their partner, and still they develop that tight bond. Now, it is true that Brazilians tend to be in really good shape. I mean, the gym is like church for them. It's literally like a part of religion. Now, because of that, majority of people, maybe not majority, but maybe half of people are in really good shape, and then the other half are just regular looking. Now, it's been said by other people who have covered this topic that Brazilians are in shape and you have a greater chance of dating if you come here as a tourist that's in shape. And that is true. However, that doesn't mean if you come here as an overweight American, can you go ahead and still have a relationship with somebody that's not predicated on you having a lot of money and taking care of that person? I would still say absolutely. Actually, you know what? Let's go out in the street and go ask somebody. That would be the proper thing to do. Let's go. Let me put on some pants. They done messed up and let me outside. There we go.
Hermano, yo tengo una pregunta. ¿Qué tú prefieres? ¿Las gorditas o las flacas? ¿Gorditas o las flacas? Las flacas. Las flacas, okay. Amiga, yo tengo una pregunta para mis amigos en los Estados Unidos. ¿Ok? ¿Qué tú prefieres? ¿Los gorditos o los flacos?
Se magro ou gordo,
Sí.
não há problema pra mim.
Ok.
Não magro, não gordo. O importante é amar.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and also special shout out to all of you who have been supporting me for a while. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you in the next one. Deuces. Love all of you guys.
Foi aquele que me bateu o golpe, nunca teve a sorte de me acertar. Nem toda a rasteira da vida, nem a uma sofrida vai me derrubar. Foi Deus quem guiou meus caminhos, com ele sozinho eu nunca vou estar.